Okay, today I'm going to be reviewing the Ringside Apex Sparring Glove. So this comes from the company Ringside. It's a well-known company. They've been making products for quite some time now, and this is one of their newer sparring gloves. It's not super new, but it's pretty new. It uses the new IMF tech, which stands for Injected Molded Foam. So first off, I just want to give you guys a close-up look at every component of the glove, and then I will talk about them. So here's kind of a look if you just want to see what they look like in a video instead of just pictures. I'm gonna open this up. Here's the wrist wrap. So inside of that, let me turn the light up a little bit. Okay, it's pretty reflective, so I don't want the light too bright. But yeah. And now I'll get into the review, since I think I showed you everything that's on the glove. So this is a sparring glove. Usually when you get a sparring glove, you want something with a lot more padding, and this does the job perfectly. I don't think I've ever seen a glove with more padding than these. These will protect your hand well and your partner. Conor McGregor, who he broke his hand like a year or two ago. He started using these gloves, and I think he mainly uses them for the padding. As you can see, there is like almost an excessive amount of padding. On the Amazon listing, which is where I got these, it says there's about 2¼ inches of padding. So I'll try to show you that here. Yeah, it's pretty dang close to about 2¼ I don't know if you can see that. Again, this is like a rounded shape, so it does extend farther than right here. It goes up more towards that way. So yeah, I'd say it's about 2¼ It almost, like, just from looking at it, it looks like 3 inches of padding. That's how much padding there is on these. But yeah, so don't worry about the padding, because these come with a lot of freaking padding. The fit, let me open this up. Fits nice and snug. There's not too much space in the hand compartment to where my hand's sliding around excessively. It just slides right in and it stays right there in place. The thumb placement, it's pretty decent. You can make a decent fist, but you're gonna feel like your thumb's kind of more straight versus curled in. But that's most gloves, so wouldn't worry too much about that. I've never jammed my thumb or anything. There's plenty of space in between here. Plenty of padding on the thumb as well. The wrist is the only thing that, it's not a huge concern, but it's probably the only thing that's noticeable in terms of comfortableness and utility. So this wrist strap, let me take my hand out. It's not as flexible as I'd like it to be. It's more stiff and rigid. As you can see, I'm trying to push it in. So if you have, I guess the size shouldn't matter, but my wrists are a little bit smaller, so it doesn't really conform to the wrist as much as I'd like. Just the way that this wrist wrap is set up. As you can see, I'll try to wrap it around. It likes to stay like that versus, let me grab my other gloves. Versus my Clear Rays training gloves. These are really flexible. I can close this all the way. These do a better job of wrapping all the way around and conforming to the wrist, as you can see. So yeah, that's the only concern I had with these in terms of fitting. If you have bigger wrists, it might not be really an issue. But yeah, that's the only issue I had with fitting. Now, performance, this does really good. I haven't had any issues with an injury to the hand, wrist, or my opponent, really. So it protects you as well as your sparring partner. Like I said earlier, there's so much padding. So even on the top of the glove, as you can see, there's about half an inch up to here is about an inch of padding. So you can block punches on the side of your glove right here, or on the top of your glove right here. What else? They have padding right here on the wrist as well. And I don't know if they did this on purpose or if it was just a coincidence, but this padding right here, this bar, it actually protects your wrist. And what I mean by that is it prevents your wrist from bending backwards and doing one of these. I don't know if you've experienced that, but if you don't squeeze your hand at the end of a punch and you kind of keep it loose and you don't lock your wrist like that, your wrist can actually bend back and cause some pretty significant damage to your wrist. So what this does, let me put this on, it actually stops the wrist. As you can see, these two pads meet together like that, and it prevents it from turning back all the way. Versus like one of these, there's really nothing there. So these have, it has more range of motion, but there is a drawback to that. You can suffer an injury from that if you're not punching correctly. I haven't really experienced that with either of these gloves because, I've trained enough to where I know how to throw a punch and prevent that from happening. But for a beginner, that is something that you can experience. And I have experienced that before in other gloves, but I've never experienced that in these. And so if you're a beginner, this will really help with that. What else? Breathability, they have this mesh right here on the palm. It's pretty minimal though. One thing I would have liked to see is more breathability. Like these gloves, they have more holes right here, I guess, and it's more open in the middle. But even these kind of have minimal airflow. So your hands will get kind of sweaty in these, but that honestly happens a lot with really any glove. So it's not too big of an issue. This does provide a good amount of airflow. There's a couple holes on the thumb, but that's about it in terms of airflow. This is pretty closed off, so you're not going to get any breathing through the wrist. Mostly just coming from your palm. As we look in the inside, this is more of a cotton material, so it will soak up sweat. Should dry out pretty well, but I kind of prefer something like these, where it's more of a less cotton, more like a plastic feel. I think it's like a neoprene or something like that. But this has more breathability and it dries out quicker versus, something like this where it's more cotton material. So it is kind of cheap on the inside, but it's only like a $50 to $80 glove. That could be expensive for some people, but in terms of gloves, that's kind of like your intermediate range. So you'll get a pretty good solid glove, but sometimes cheaper materials. The main component of the leather is synthetic leather, so it's easy to clean. It's nice and smooth. If you get any blood or sweat on there, you can just wipe it right off with a towel and it should be good to go. And it uses that synthetic leather all throughout the glove, except here on the wrist strap. I want to say this isn't real leather either, but I could be wrong. It's just not the same as this. It could be the same leather, but what I noticed on here is there's like like a plastic film over it or some kind of material all throughout. As you can see, that pattern makes it kind of glossy. So it looks pretty nice and makes it easier to clean. So yeah, that's basically it. Sorry. These perform very well, protect your hands. Not too bulky. I mean, it's actually pretty bulky, I can't lie. But honestly, I enjoy that in a sparring glove because you can keep a tight guard and it's hard to get around such a big padding. So I honestly love that these are like excessively padded versus like a regular glove, as you can see there. What else? The design's pretty cool. If you're into design, it looks kind of cool. If you're more into like a plain glove, this can be a little bit flashy. So it's really up to your preference, but You know, most gloves just kind of look like this, no real design to it. Some people prefer that, more old school. Some people might want something that looks a little bit better. I like the design. Some may not, but it's kind of your preference. Design really isn't a big factor in buying gloves for most people. They just want something that will perform well and something that's durable and that will last long. And I believe these will. These will last pretty long as you're not using them for your training as well. If you're going to use these for training, I would just go ahead and get like a second pair and have a designated pair for sparring and for training, because if you're using the same glove for everything, the padding will wear down, stitching will wear down, everything will wear down a lot quicker. And more importantly, the padding, if it breaks down faster, it's not going to protect your hands and your sparring partners as well. So I would just save up and get 2 separate pairs. Then you'll just be set for a long time and you won't have to worry about getting another pair in like 3 to 4 months. So I got the red and black colorway. They also have like a green and black, a gold, silver, red and white, gray, white. They've got pretty much every colorway you can think of. So yeah, you can go ahead and check those out on Amazon. Again, these are the Ringside Apex sparring glove. You should be able to find them pretty easily. They range from $50 to $80. I think it depends on the color and the size. These are the 16-ounce gloves. They also have 14-ounce, 16-ounce, and 18-ounce. I've seen the 14-ounce, and honestly, they look almost the exact same as these. There's really no noticeable difference between the gloves. Padding looks exact same. They feel the same. They look the exact same. I just went ahead and got the 16-ounce because that's usually the standard size most gyms want you to use to spar, and that's what I got these for. But if you're going to use them for training, you can go ahead and get the 14-ounce, whatever you would like. Anything bigger than 16-ounce, I don't really know if you need unless you're a bigger fighter. But that's up to you. What else? These are pretty durable gloves. I haven't experienced any major wear and tear. I think that's mostly because I only use these for sparring. So that is the good thing about having 2 separate pairs, is you can make them last a lot longer. I don't think I'll need a new pair of sparring gloves for a while. I've been using these for probably over a year, and there's really no major wear and tear at all. I mean, this one has like a little scuff there. I think I can just wipe that off, honestly. I haven't cleaned these as much as I should, but you get a little bit of wear and tear here. That's about it, honestly. Says right here, the best in boxing. Apex right here, 16-ounce. IMF Tech, Ringside. I'm trying to make this a quick video so I don't waste too much of your time. But yeah, that's about it. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate all the comments. I like interacting with all of you. I like to respond to comments. Just simply commenting and liking the video will help me a lot. It'll help my channel grow. And I really want to make this channel for all of you, so you have kind of some reference to whether or not you want to buy a certain glove if I have it to review. And growing this channel will help me review more things for you and give you my take on boxing gloves, as well as I have boxing shoes, I have jump ropes, I have mouth guard, I have hand wraps. I got a whole bunch of things that I can review for all of you if you're interested. And that help, and liking and commenting and letting me know, what do you want to see helps me a lot. It also helps me improve my videos, whether I'm covering the right things or whether I'm missing things. But yeah, just go ahead, subscribe, like, comment. I know that gets old, but it really does help YouTubers develop their channel and grow. So I'll give you just one more good look at these. Again, there's plenty of padding. Pretty good design, fits well, should fit just about any hand. If you're on the bigger side, maybe get like an 18-ounce glove. If you're on the smaller side, maybe a 14-ounce glove. If you're in the middle, if you don't know, just get the 16-ounce, and honestly, they should work fine. But yeah, here's the glove. One last look if you wanted to see. There you go. Thanks for watching.